come on, together. Great. Yeah, that's better. Lovely. Monroe, back with the group. Back with the group. Dave, catch up with him, will you? Get the little sock back on course and give him a mouthful.
We have indicated in the tables a clear evaluation of those community programs which have emerged and which have proved successful. Sadly, this success rate is well below our projected analysis of that time. To give you just a few percentages of offending young adults, re-offending young adults, as well as time served within the criminal justice system and in community-based service, we find the following evidence. Going back as far as 1977, when these statistics were first put into any kind of
Thank you very much. It's a bit weak, but it will fortify the brain cells. I need all the help I can get.
There's a public phone out there.
Excuse me, but I really need to use this phone.
Sorry, Inspector.
Thank you. Oh, leave it.
Hello. I'm Pam Hartley, one of the organisers.
Oh, right. I'm Detective Inspector Frost. How do you do?
I'm really pleased the police have managed to send a senior officer. I've been meaning to say hello since I saw you yesterday.
Oh, right. Yes, well, hello.
Fairly dry this morning, I'm afraid. Statistics aren't my strong suit.
No, not mine either. But still.
Saw you scribbling away, though.
Oh, yes. Oh, no, I'm just keeping up to date.
The more we can involve the police in this, the better. This affects us all.
Well, it certainly affected me this morning.
I've got to go and do my social bit. I just want to say thank you for making the effort.
Not at all. Not at all. Thank you. Ah, this is D.I. Frost. My laundry ready? Paying us a visit?
She isn't, but her inspector is. How come you're not at the briefing?
What briefing's that then?
So, you don't need me to tell you that responsibility for an effective police force is shared by three parties. The Home Secretary, police authorities, and the Chief Constables. Now, this visit by Her Majesty's Inspector of Constabulary is vital. Absolutely vital to the granting of our operational budget and the future success of our division.
Well, never mind about me, young Trig. Why aren't you at the briefing with the rest of them?
Do you honestly think the HMI can make any sense of what goes on in my room?
No. I hate coppers who beat the system.
And guess where I learned it?
All right. Hey, George,
What?
what's going on? He's had everybody in there by the canteen staff.
No, their briefing's later.
Oh, right.
Ah, Jack.
Ah, there you are, sir. Sorry I missed your briefing. It's just that those psychologists and social workers needed a bit of a hand with their crime statistics.
Now, Jack, short and simple. All paperwork up to date, no excuses. You know the drill. And Jack, I don't want HMI to walk in and catch CID with their feet on a desk slurping tea. Get your people out on the streets.
Right, well, there's nothing left on the slate. Paperwork's nice and tidy. Let us whip down the town for a nice cuppa.
Jack.
Or, then again, maybe not.
You took your time.
Good morning to you, Dr. Mackenzie. Have you know that we're in the middle of a major inspection from which this incident has thankfully delivered us?
Yes, I have.
I mean, you heard. What, you got spies in our camp or what?
Mullet told me. He's already pestering me to make sure the paperwork's on time. Right, Frosty, I'm got all day. Let's look at dead laddie.
Anything on dead laddie?
Nothing.
Maybe nothing.
Not even a clean handkerchief in his pocket.
Oh, I don't think he was going out expecting to catch a cold, was he? What was it, suicide, you think?
Not having shared any deep philosophical discussions with him, it would be difficult to assess his state of mind.
But you could hazard a guess, considering the condition that he is in.
He's in a bit of a mess. He probably jumped or fell down the wall of the dam, which would make life easier for you. The lads over there found him. And just as well. Another couple of hours, he'd been coming out of someone's tap.
Very droll. Right, George, I tell you what, you go and have a chat with those lads. I'm going to have a look up there.
Anything up there?
As far as I can see.
Seems likely to be some sort of accident, doesn't it? A bit of sightseeing gone wrong.
Any sign of a parked car on the track down there? No. Well, he must have got here somehow. He wouldn't have walked all the way from town. He was hardly dressed for a stroll in the countryside, was he?
Maybe someone gave him a lift. Or a taxi, took him as far as it could.
Yeah. See if you can get his description on the local news. Also, check out the taxis in the local vicinity.
Well, it's obvious he didn't want to be identified.
And someone else didn't. Can't help it, George. I've got a suspicious mind.
Yes, mate. I left my flask at home this morning. I was wondering if you'd mind me making a cuppa.
Of course not. Help us on.
Tough. You all right then, Mr. Harris? Keeping busy?
As busy as I can be. You finished that veggie patch yet?
Nearly, yeah. Just get some of that manure raked in and we'll soon have some decent greens, eh?
What are you doing in here?
I'm just making myself a cuppa.
I don't want you in the house, Mike.
Jean.
Well, I'm not doing any harm.
I don't want you in here.
Not good enough, eh?
You walk mud through.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
I'll bring you your tea.
Jean. It doesn't matter.
It does. It's not right he comes in here.
Got a hair out of place. I hope this new GC's paperwork is up to speed. What's his name again? Mulligan?
Lonigan.
Oh, Lonigan. Irish, is he? Excuse me? What the hell do you think you're doing in my office?
What?
George, get in touch with the front desk, will you? Jack. Find out why members of the public are there. What?
This is Lonigan.
Oh. Oh, right. Sorry. Sorry about that. So. My mistake.
Ronnie Lonigan.
Ah, Ronnie Lonigan. Reminds me, it sounds like Lonnie Donegan. That's him, yeah. Lonnie Donegan. You remember Lonnie Donegan, don't you, George? Do you remember him?
Yeah.
He's that skiffle player, you know that song, does your chewing gum lose its flavour on the bedpost? Oh, right, yes, well, so, you, normally in mufti, are you, Ronnie?
Temporary attachment here, Gov. I've been working undercover for several months in London.
Well, good. It's going to be nice to have a splash of colour around here. Yeah. Sorry, what I meant was...
I know what you mean, Gov.
Right, good. Thank you. Yes, good, because I hate being misunderstood. Most people do. Well, I see you've made yourself useful.
All sorted as Sergeant Tulin requested, sir.
Yes. Never been so neat and tidy. All nicely stacked. But you're like that at home, are you? Husband does the washing up, you do the drying.
Well, it would be difficult.
Jack,
She's the widow. You drop me in it one more time, George, and you're back on the beat.
He won't see, he doesn't want to.
Later.
There was severe trauma to his body. He'd been pummeled by the water, probably against the concrete walls on the bottom of the water sluice. And suicide or otherwise, he didn't die in the water where he was found.
Well, he hardly swam upstream to his death, did he?
Interestingly, there were traces of chemicals in his lungs.
there are no chemical plants in Denton.
These chemicals are fairly common, the kind people use in the filtration systems for a swimming pool.
Chlorine.
No, chlorine dissipates almost immediately in the body. Besides, there's too much pulmonary edema in his lungs to detect any traces.
Private and public swimming pools, then.
Right, well, there you are, George. There's a little job for you in Lonigan. Go and suss out all the rich and famous in Denton with swimming pools. That shouldn't take you more than 10 minutes.
Where are you going?
On to the psychologist's couch, I hope.
All right, Terry. I think that was a good session, don't you?
Oh, yeah. Right.
Bye, Terry.
Yeah, right, thanks.
Hello.
Hello there.
Come through.
Oh, thank you.
It's nice to see you again, Inspector.
Well, I got your message, and I just happened to be passing, and I thought, well, I'll pop in, see if she's busy or not.
Well, I've got another client, but he's a bit late, so we've a few minutes. It's good of you to have taken the trouble.
Oh, not at all, Doctor.
Pam.
Oh, Pam. Well, call me Jack. In your message, you said there was something I might be able to help you with.
I hope so, yes. I'm really grateful you took such an interest in the last symposium.
My pleasure.
Look, I don't want to impose, but I wondered if you'd take part in another symposium.
What, bums on seats, that sort of thing?
Only if you can find the time.
Well, yeah, well, I mean, if you can be there, I'm sure I can be there.
It shouldn't take long for you to put together, not with the amount of direct experience you have.
I'm sorry?
The paper.
You want to interview me for a newspaper?
I'm sorry. I'm being a bit vague, aren't I? I'd like you to give a short lecture on how you as a senior police officer suggest we stop young offenders progressing to violent crime.
A talk?
That's not a problem, is it?
Oh, no. No, of course not. No, absolutely no. Not at all.
All right, Mr. Harris. You are?
I don't think so. Ah! My ribs!
Keep your arm for a minute.
Oh, God! I can't take much more of this.
Thank you, mate. I'll stay here for a bit.
Do you want a doctor?
No, I'm all right. Let's get you.
Here we go. You feel a bit clammy, Mr.
I'm all right, thanks. Just leave me alone. Thank you.
I'm not saying he's that bad, Mr. Harris. He's just taking a tumble, that's all.
Where's Jean?
I don't know where she is. She went out this morning.
Bitch.
What the devil's going on?
You don't listen to my complaints, so I'm going to make sure you see them.
Will somebody turn this off now? Quickly! Now, Mr. Fabriani, this just won't do at all. Why don't you go home and I'll make absolutely certain that your complaint is investigated.
I was promised help. I'm not going nowhere until I get it. What's going on here, sir? Treating us all to a Florentino delight, oh?
Jack, you're dealing with this, aren't you?
Yeah, hello, Mr. Fabriano. Someone's vandalising my vans. Now, you check out my opposition. Denny's Ice Cream, he's the one I'm telling you. My round is down the spout. No one's buying any of my stuff anymore. This is industrial sabotage. This is... God's sake, Jack. Look, sir. Look, we've had the observers on his route. We've kept watch on his yard. This is just random vandalism.
Look, HMI is due here any moment. Any moment, Jack. Now just placate him, will you? Just get him out of here for everybody's sake.
Just a minute, hang on a minute. I mean, this is just a bit of aggression from the opposition. I've got a suspicious death to sort out. I've also got some paperwork to do for this psychologist's lot.
Well, you never mentioned that.
Huh? Oh, well, they've asked me to deliver a paper, haven't they? And I don't mean one through the letterbox either.
Well, that's excellent news, Jack. HMI will be most impressed. Still, Mr. Fabriani here needs assurances. Just give them to him, will you?
All right, I'll sort it out. All right, come on, Jules, get him out of these chains. All right, Mr. Fabriani, we'll get this sorted. You better, unless your governor wants a ton of vanilla world dumped on his doorstep. Would that be with the chocolate flake?
We want to be here.
Oh, yes, you might. What about Paul?
Of course I do.
I can't keep an eye on you.
You don't have to. I'm all right.
You're not.
Dad, please.
Mr. Harris, I really think it's...
You should be ashamed of yourself.
Stop it now.
Where were you? You could have lain out there all day for all you cared.
Dad, stop it. I'm all right. He should never have called you.
Just as well he did.
I can't stay in all day. And this has nothing to do with you.
It has everything to do with me. He's my son. Just happened to make a bad choice when it came to you, that's all. I know what's going on.
Get out.
I'll go when I'm good and ready. Look, you need a care worker. I'll see to it.
I need to be left alone. This is my life, what's left of it. And Jean's my wife. Remember that now. Leave us be, Dad, please. Just leave us, all right?
You look after your husband and treat him with some respect.
Listen, about what I said earlier. You know, about your husband. Sorry, it's stupid of me.
It was 3 years ago. You get past it.
Yeah, I know, but it still must be tough for someone as young as you.
I'm not so sure. I mean, I hadn't spent a lifetime with him. I'd like to have done that. Anyway,
goes on, as they say.
Yes. Sweet and sour. Very much like this sandwich.
So what are we doing here?
Information. See old Walter up there? He's been on the streets a lot longer than all of us lot put together. Now, I want you to stay here and hold this. When I tip you the wink, go out there, put a couple of quid in his hat and give the dog a piece of that.
Sir?
Well, you're making a donation and not asking any questions, right? So he'll remember that. The dog will get your scent and he'll remember that. My way of community policing. Hello, Walter. All right. How's dog?
She's getting on a bit, but she's buddy. Remembers you, though.
Right. Here you are, look. There you go.
It's very good of you, Mr. Foss. Would you like a request? I just learned don't fence me in.
Yeah, no, not just at the moment. Thank you, Walter. No.
Don't be shy, Mr. Frost. I know you like a good sing-song.
Yes, I know. I do normally, Walter, but not today. Now, listen. Found a body up in the reservoir. No means of identification. If you hear anything on the streets, you let me know, all right?
Right on.
Oh, yeah. One other thing. Mr. Fabriani and his ice cream vans have been suffering from vandalism.
Restrictive trade practices.
Yes, that's it. You know what I mean.
Understood.
Good man. That's it. Well, you carry on.
Just give me lane, lots of land, and the starry sky above.
Go on, don't be late. You're on. Sorry, forgot to tell you, he doesn't like the pickle.
Mr. Harris all right, is he?
You shouldn't have said anything.
Well, I didn't know what to do.
Keep out of it is what you do. It's none of your business.
Jean.
Get my husband to pay whatever we owe you, then clear off out of here.
Come.
You wanted to see me, sir?
Ah, yes, Jack, yes. As you know, Mr. Babcock here, being our regional HMI, is influential in the formation of policy, and he, and of course we, are particularly concerned that members of the public should have their sensibilities taken into account when dealing with the service.
Oh, right.
People need to feel a greater understanding about our role, Frost. That's what that document's about.
Well, I couldn't agree more, sir. I'm all for getting rid of gobbledygook.
Yes, Jack.
I see what you're saying. I see. We're not to interrogate suspects anymore. We're to use challenge techniques, sorry? Oh, I see. Lots of interesting ideas here in this, sir. There's another one here. Reduction and disruption in unlawful markets. Yes, I suppose that is a more gentle way of saying we're going to stop villains who deal with goods that fall off the backs of lorries. Yeah. Sensibilities should stay intact with that one.
You will distribute that document to your staff as I will to the rest of the station.
Of course, sir. Can't wait.
Any news on the dead man?
No, sir, but the dead man is on the news.
Continual policy and performance audits might not be in his vocabulary, but dinosaur police officers like Frost can hold the service back. I'd like to discuss DI Frost later. Now, let's get on, shall we?
Of course we'll pay you. We always do.
She often forgets, and I hate coming in here and bothering you.
I haven't any cash. Do you remember the PIN number?
No.
3646. All right.
Right, some people say you were daft trusting me with this.
Then they'd be wrong, wouldn't they?
Yeah. Look, Mr. Harris, about your wife.
Get £20 out for me, will you? And, bring me some cigarettes.
Oh, there you are. Have you read this, have you?
No.
We're not here to nick villains, you know. We are here to cause criminal incapacitation. And you can forget our targets. We are now going to have an increased value performance plan, which will be audited by a firm of What are you doing?
Making notes, Gov.
You're not actually going to learn this stuff, are you?
I thought that was the idea.
The idea is that we nick villains by the scruff of the neck when circumstances dictate and hopefully permit. And if you want to call a snout a human intelligence source, then you can be my guest. Come in.
Jack, phone call from a woman. Says she knows that stiff you pulled out the water.
He booked him late yesterday. Mr. Malloy. I had no idea he was going to kill himself. I wouldn't have taken the booking if I'd known.
Yes, people tend not to mention that, do they, Mrs. Pomeroy?
Still, it comes as something of a shock, you know. This is his room. There's nothing in the wardrobe. I checked. He was wearing his overcoat.
How did he pay, love?
Somebody booked the room for him. Oh, more than a fortnight ago. Came in and paid cash. I don't have any sort of an address.
They pre-booked Mr. Malloy's room. Can you describe him?
The dead man. Well, he was about 6 foot. He had short, mousy...
We know what he looks like. He means the man who paid cash.
I'll try.
We'll take it from here, Mrs. Pomeroy. We'll have a chat later, love. What do you think about that man?
Well, he was hardly here for a fortnight of fun and frivolity in Denton. Hardly enough for an overnight stay.
Well, he came to meet somebody.
Yeah. Be nice to know who, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Tell you what, I don't remember the body wearing an overcoat, do you?
No.
No. Let's check with the police divers, also the mortuary.
Right.
It was a young man who paid the cash. I can't remember what he looked like. Fairly scruffy.
Did Mr. Malloy meet him?
I've no idea. He booked in, and then he went outside when the car came to pick him up.
Oh. What car would that be, love?
A blue one.
No. I don't suppose by any chance you recognise the number plate.
No.
Notice the driver?
The car had tinted windows.
All right. Well, we'd like you to come down to the station and have someone help you make up a likeness of the man who paid the bill. Is that okay?
Does that mean I'm helping the police with their inquiries?
Well, the way things are going today, Mrs. Pomeroy, we need all the help we can get. Now, are you sure there's nothing else that you can remember? Nothing at all? All right, well, thanks very much.
There was another case. He had it when he got into the car.
What, a suitcase?
No. A black case.
A briefcase?
No. Longer. Much longer. Flat. Like you see in the films when the baddie gets out his gun and puts it together when he's going to assassinate the president. That sort of case.
Yeah! Rita, what's going on?
You're out of my flat and my life's what's going on, you bastard!
Give me a break, I don't know what you're on about.
Oh, yeah? Look in your bag under your dirty clothes. There's even dirtier photographs of your Mrs. Harris. Sleeping with the lady of the house is one thing. What were the pictures for? A bloody reference? And you come and crawl back into my bed afterwards? I don't think so.
Ah, Lonigan. Thank you very much. Just in the nick of time. Good girl. Right. Denny's ice cream. Still doing a roaring trade? Any joy there?
We've had a couple of observation guys on his round. Fabriani's opposition is selling more ice cream. Big deal. The vandalism on his van could be anyone.
Petty jealousy, then. Fabriani has to blame somebody, it may as well be the opposition.
All right, well, keep at it.
Governor, Mr. Mullet's on inspection tour.
Yeah, well, of course, he never starts here, does he? Always starts with traffic. And then he goes on to community involvement. Right, George, let Lonigan bear witness to Mrs. Pomeroy's description of the character who paid for the dead man's room.
This could be anyone.
Exactly. Dead man's name is Malloy. R. Malloy.
Well, according to the pool superintendent, there's no way he could have drowned in the public baths. The people who have swimming pools check out, and no one recognised the ephod of the dead man. So far, Jack, he's a mystery.
Oh, well, there you are. Well, he must have come from somewhere.
Nothing better to do, Inspector, than sit with your feet on the desk slurping tea.
Just got in, sir. I was following some leads about the dead man up at the reservoir.
The incident log on him?
Pardon?
The incident log!
Incident, yes, of course, sir. Incident is, the incident log.
Send it through when you're ready.
Mm-hmm. Lonigan, where's that incident log? Oh, yeah. Well, thank you. Well, there's one good thing. Lightning never strikes twice. Are you there, George?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a Jean and Paul Harris. This car registration in her name. He was on disability benefits. Oh. Soccer found a wallet. There's no cash, no credit cards.
Any signs around the scene?
Yeah, there are some tyre tracks and a partial footprint with what looks like gardening lime from the sole. The killer obviously took whatever he could, and Harris had no chance. He was in a wheelchair.
Oh, my God.
Say we human beings are close cousins to pigs, but that isn't the smell of pork chops and a barbecue, Frost.
Thank you very much, Doctor. I'll remember that when I have my streaky bacon for breakfast. Is this where they were found?
Yes. They were tied with garden wire. Him in his wheelchair, she beside him on the floor.
Tied and burned alive.
There are head injuries. Postmortem might disagree, but my guess is they were bludgeoned before they were bumped.
That's a small mercy.
There's no mercy in the vicious sod who did this, George. I don't think he had a heart at all. Oh, thank you. Any next of kin?
You check it now.
Oh, look, George, this garden looks as though it's recently been worked. He was in a wheelchair, maybe they had a gardener. Check that out, see if there was one. If there was, have a look at the soles of his shoes.
Right.
Oh, look out, he's here. Turp, we're here.
This is appalling.
Yeah, I know, it's a double murder, so they were both tied, bludgeoned and burned.
Oh, my God. Isn't some burglary gone wrong?
Well, the killer took whatever money came to hand, sir.
Could result in some very nasty publicity, especially with HMI.
Well, maybe Her Majesty's Inspector of Constabulary could talk to the relatives. Maybe he knows how to keep their sensibilities intact.
All right, Jack. I do understand.
Well, do you, sir? Do you really? I mean, a few more coppers and a lot less paperwork wouldn't hurt. And perhaps a real understanding of effective policing in the community hasn't quite reached those suits up there in the Home Office.
Well, perhaps it hasn't, Jack, but between the politicians and the media, well, we do the best we can.
I'm sorry. Sometimes it feels that we're just not doing enough. Especially when I know that whoever did this is somewhere on my patch.
Been nicking wash rags, have you?
Yeah, good profit to be out doing that.
See you down the pub later, yeah?
What happened?
There you are, sir.
Yes, here I am, Lonigan. No respecter of male privacy, I see.
Sir, uniform found a burnt-out car on wasteland last night. It's a shell, but there's some blistered paint. It's blue, and the splintered glass was tinted.
Well, coincidences we leave to the laws of mathematicians. Gifts from horses' mouths we take quite happily. My desk, second drawer.
Sir, there's something else. They found the old man when they responded to the fire. He's still unconscious in intensive care. The dog won't let anyone near him. RSPCA were going to take him away, but they haven't found him like a kit or something.
You wait here. All right. Good boy. Come on, dog, you know me. Good dog. Here's a good boy. That's it. There's a good boy. There's a good boy, yes. Let's do this for you. Well?
Transferred to the dog unit, Jack.
I'll have you know that I'm dog-minding for the poor sod who was worked over when this thing was torched. All right, anything?
Yes, Brian. Petrol in a glass bottle. Your basic Molotov cocktail. That's fine. But there was enough rubber left for us to start matching the tread patterns found outside the Harris's place.
No. Got a result yet?
Later. Something else, though. We found this in the boot.
The assassin's case.
How's that go?
What's this?
Oh, it's a bassoon.
Well, this case is easy to solve then, isn't it? We just phone up Denton Symphony Orchestra and find out if they've got a bassoon player missing.
You're lucky if Denton had a paper and comb ensemble. There's a small nameplate in the back here with the name R. Malloy.
It's him. It's my dead man.
Why would a bassoon player come to Denton, book into a prepaid room and end up dead at the bottom of the reservoir?
Well, I don't know. Maybe he was here to play Handel's water music.
How about you take the ride? Since when have you disliked money so much?
Mr. Monkton, that horse isn't fit.
Beth says she's fit, I say she's fit. Even a bloody stable lad says she's fit.
I wouldn't get the best out of her, Mr. Monkton.
As you like.
All right, Stevie. Nothing like some nice hot manure to keep your hands warm.
You should leave her alone.
Oh, yeah? Who's that, then?
You know who I mean.
The boss's daughter. Fancy your chances, do you? Her and a muck spreader. I don't think so, Sunshine.
Look, I'm warning you, Matthews.
Oh, dear. Better run away, then. Tell you what, Stevie. You watch your lip talking to me like that. Otherwise, you'll be doing more than shoveling that stuff. You'll be up to your neck in it.
So we've got a premeditated murder with no apparent motive.
And with no description of the possible murderer except a so-so effect.
So the killer draws in our muso, Mr. R. Malloy. He tops him, dumps his body, dumps his car, which is observed by poor old Walter. So he works Walter over.
I'll get on to the Musicians' Union. They might have Malloy listed.
Well, if we can track him down, we might make some sense of all this. Yeah. Interesting. Pull over there a minute, will you? Time for a bit of refreshment, I think.
Come on, Joanne. Bye.
Hello. I'll have what everyone else is having. No. One of these will do. Yeah. Do you know what we used to do when we were kids? That probably seemed like the Dark Ages to you. We always used to break off the bottom of the cone, right, see, so that you could make another ice cream cone like that. You see, your kids don't do that. Some of them even throw the ice cream away, but not the cone. Not this bit. Wonder why.
Well, that's ecstasy, sir.
Yeah, well, it certainly ain't hundreds and thousands, is it? Wait, go on, hey! Now, don't be stupid! Got him?
His dad's away on holiday, Mr. Frost. He's been filling in for him. His old man will skin him for this.
No, only after I've finished with him. All right, Lonigan. Read him his rights. You take care of him. I know you love the bookwork.
Thanks, Mr. Frost. Anytime I can do you any favours, you just ask. How about a real ice cream? I'll do a lovely mochaccino surprise.
No, thank you. I've had enough of ice cream and surprises for one day. Anyway, I've got a nice pork pie with my name on it in the canteen.
What in God's name are you doing?
Oh, I was assaulted by an ice cream cone.
This? The dog? Are you mad with HMI here?
Old man Walter got beaten up last night. This is his dog.
Well, I'm very sorry. You can't keep it here.
What am I supposed to do with it?
Get it to the RSPCA. Look, Jack, HMI is looking for any excuse to mark your card. So just keep it out of the way. A nice drink, huh?
Yeah. Old man Fabriani's competitor took an extended holiday, so his son took over the run and came up with a line that the kids couldn't resist. Ecstasy. So we nicked him.
Excellent. I shall expect a report. Now let's crack on with these murders, shall we? And get that scruffy creature out of here.
That's it.
I'm not so sure canteen grub's good for a dog, Jack.
It's not that wonderful for humans, but doesn't seem to bother him, does it?
How's Walter?
Oh, still unconscious. There's not much point going around the hospital yet.
You know, they say owners look like their dogs. I can see a certain resemblance there. Bit of a mournful look. Whiskers. Getting a bit grey.
Yeah, Walter doesn't look... Yes, all right, thank you very much. That's enough of that. If I look mournful, it's because I've got every reason to be.
Well, this should cheer you up. Came through about half an hour ago. Oh, those unidentified tyre tracks from Harris's cottage. One matched Harris Senior's Jag. The other matched the burned-out car.
So, the killer dumps the bassoon player upstream. The next day, he does in the Harrises, and then Walter catches sight of him as he tries to dump the car. We've got a triple murderer on our hands.
Yeah, gets better.
Yeah?
A trading car, a dark blue Scorpio hatchback, was reported stolen just over 4 weeks ago from a local dealer. One, Arnold Harris.
The dead man's father. Blimey, George, this is better than a full house on a bingo card. Right, okay. Come on, first thing in the morning. Right, good dog, all finished. There you go. Right, come on, let's go home. He's going to do very nicely around here, isn't he? All right, they're already here. Shh, quiet. Oh. What is it? What do you want? Do you want to come in? Right. Just shh, quiet. Go to sleep, be a good boy. Shh. If you don't want to come in, what do you want? All right. Now will you be quiet? All right. Okay. Okay. All right. Go on, tuck down. Oh my God.
Everything all right, sir?
It's you, is it, Lonigan? What are you doing here? And where's my tea?
You what, sir?
Oh, no. What do you want?
It's the old man, Walter. He's regained consciousness.
Oh, right. Good. Well, why didn't you say? Well, there you go. So you can't describe the man who attacked you?
No, Mr. Frost.
He was young, though, strong. The flames of the car were behind him. He wore a cap. One of those American things. I'm sorry. What about Dog?
Shh. It's all right, he's fine. I'm looking after him. You just concentrate on getting yourself better, all right?
Thank you, Mr. Frost. He's no bother. But he gets lonely. Can't sleep on his own.
Don't I know it? Actually, you might be able to help me with that one. Donegan. All right, I'll be with you in a minute. All right, good boy, good boy. There you are. There's your daddy's clothes. Now then, do I get my own bed back? I'll take that as a yes, then, shall I? Right, good boy.
I've had a call from the engineer at the water treatment plant. He's got some information.
All right, you get yourself off up there. I've got a date with George Toolan.
Well, he's been widowed for several years. His son was all he had. The man's devastated by the killings, Jack. Doctor's been with him pretty much since uniform told him. He's in a mess. And according to what the doctor says, he's not acting.
Yeah, well, I've seen Oscar-winning performances before now. George, you keep him on the suspect list. He was there.
Stolen car?
The blue Scorpio.
Oh, yes. Somebody broke into my office and stole the keys.
I wonder why they didn't steal a Jag.
Obviously, it was less noticeable.
Were there any suspicious characters around at the time? Any disgruntled employees?
Nope.
Anybody not pitch up for work when the car went missing?
No, nobody.
I see. So you visited your son on the day he and his wife died?
Yes. And I'm sorry to say we argued.
What did you argue about?
There's no point in dragging that up now, is there?
Well, on the contrary, I think there's every point. I mean, there's a murderer on the loose. I know this may be painful, but we're trying to find out if there was anyone in particular that wanted to hurt them.
I don't see who.
Do you, or did your son, know anyone by the name R. Malloy?
No, I never heard that name.
What did your son do for a living, money-wise?
Well, he had a disability pension, and I gave them some money to keep them going. Not much. He was as independent as he could be. Hated handouts.
And his wife?
Oh, some occasional work on a cash-in-hand basis. She was supposed to look after him.
And did she?
Well, she and I never got on. She required more physical affection than my son was able to give.
She had a boyfriend?
Yeah. I don't know who.
Was there a gardener?
Yes. Yes, he's Mike somebody. He was a good lad, local, I think. He called me when Paul fell from his wheelchair. That's why I went out there.
Mr. Harris, I'm sorry, I've got to ask you this. Where were you on the night that they died?
I was at my office. I had a late sales night.
You don't even seem bothered by what's happened. She was such a beautiful horse. Why did you have her put down?
The vet said she had to be destroyed. She was badly injured. She kicked a hole through the wall of her stall. Her leg was shattered.
If it can't make money, get rid of it. That's all you think about.
Melanie, I'm sorry. I know how much she meant to you. She couldn't be saved. You think I wanted to see her destroyed? Look, I have to go over the new security arrangements. We can't risk another burglary. Especially at ends like this, with a horse being injured.
A bit late in closing the stable door, Danny. The horse is already dead. Could have told me what happened, Stevie. I didn't want to hear it from my father. I loved that horse.
Couldn't be helped, Melanie. Whoever got into the yard must have scared her. They might even have been trying to nobble her. Look, she'd have been in a lot of pain. They said the vet finished her off quickly.
I don't need to hear that, thank you.
Sorry, Look, why don't we go out for a drink at lunch? Nip down the White Hart. You can prop yourself up a bit, maybe.
For God's sake, not now, Stevie. Not now. Melanie, okay?
Yes? She's upset about the horse.
Of course she is. She loved that horse. I suppose you were your usual considerate self.
Where were you when she needed some motherly care?
As far away from you as possible.
We found it snagged on one of the lower sluice grills, but in the circumstances, it might not be anything important. I do hope you're not wasting your time.
Oh, you did the right thing by calling me.
Can't have one of these when you got a dog anyway. Closest I'll get to one, I know.
Well, Harris's story checks. I've spoken to everyone inside. He was here.
Where have I seen him before?
Doesn't ring any bells with me, Jack.
No, me neither. Well, not yet, anyway. All right, get the team eagle-eyed for this Gardner character. If you ask me, he's our man. Well, best chance we've got. Well, even though you're a long way from the reservoir wall, which is here, I still maintain the dead body started its journey. Here.
I don't see how.
Well, look, these tanks here, these sort of tanks are connected to this main pipe by this pipe. And this one runs all the way down here and comes out the other side of the reservoir wall where the canoeists were.
Yes, they're released every week. Have been for years. The spillage isn't wasted because it flows down from there into the lower reservoir. But that pipe's over a mile long.
Yes, I know, but it doesn't come out here, does it? You know, at the back end of the reservoir, where the body would have to float through millions of gallons of water before it arrived at the other side of the reservoir wall.
No, it's a fairly complicated system.
All right, can we keep it simple? Does the water come from here down this pipe to the other side of the reservoir wall?
Yes.
Yes, thank you. Now can we have the guided tour, please? All right, so, what's this place?
This is part of the filtration system.
I see. What's all this white stuff?
Lime. It's used in the filters.
Yeah, they found lime on that footprint of the cottage.
Yeah, right. All right, come on, what's next?
These are some of the filtration stages.
I see. Where does this water go?
Well, eventually that'll feed into the reservoir. Look, Inspector, who's going to dump a body up here when they can just drop him over the edge at the reservoir?
I don't know who, but all I know is that he wasn't dropped over the side of the reservoir. If he was, how did his overcoat get this side of your sluice gate?
Well, You'd have to start off
somewhere here, couldn't he? No, minute, what's that?
It's me.
Oh, right.
Excuse me. Hello?
Jack, no one's going to manage to drag a body up here. This is where he must have died.
You're right, he was alive when he was up here. It was down there that he died. I reckon that our killer forced him into one of these tanks, right? There he was, struggling to keep alive, and he swallowed some water, which would account for...
The chemicals found in his body.
Exactly. Now he's floundering. The weight of his coat is dragging him down. He undoes his overcoat, gets rid of it.
Yeah.
But he can't get out of the tank. So,
Sorry, Inspector. I've got to go and run some tests.
Ah, right. You seem to do an awful lot round here, don't you?
Not really. General stuff. It's all automated now. There's only ever 2 engineers on shift.
Oh, only 2? I bet you could go a whole shift without seeing anybody at all, couldn't you? Especially at night. Yes.
Excuse me.
Yeah, okay, we'll see you later. Yes!
Down here! There's a cellar of some sort. Long out of use by the look of it.
What is this place here?
It's an old control room, built in the 60s.
Open up, let's have a look.
Right, sir. It was a nuclear bunker. They thought if they got nuked, the engineers could keep the water supply going.
If anyone got nuked, I would imagine the water would have been boiled enough to make 1 cup of tea, and that would have been about the end of it. After you.
What's all this?
Well, this is where he's been living. No? Long enough to find out where everything was, how everything worked, where all the keys were to give him access to what he needed. All right, George, seal the place off, get forensic down here.
3 murders so far, Jack. What's the connection?
I don't know. I hope there isn't any more.
I still can't get hold of Melanie. She's not answering her cell phone.
Oh, she's sulking somewhere.
Have you got a time of death for us?
Between 10 and midnight. They were very badly charred. The heat caused 5th and 6th degree burns. Subcutaneous tissues gone.
Dr. Mackenzie suggested that
They were bludgeoned before they died. But he was wrong. They were alive when they were burned.
Well, what about the skull fractures?
When underlying bone, such as the skull, is exposed to intense heat, it can crack. It's an easy mistake to make. It can look like wounds made in a homicidal attack.
There's no mistake about this.
Carbon monoxide in the blood, soot in their lungs. Blistering on the body yields a different result if a body was burned before or after death. After death shows no signs of vital reaction. The blisters are hard, yellowish in colour.
I'd like to meet this bloke on a dark night.
Or in broad daylight, come to that. The killer deliberately tied his victims with garden wire, doused them with petrol, and... horrendous. I'd say you need help on this one, Inspector.
I reckon that he knew his way around. He didn't stumble on them. I think he knew where the living room was, and I think he knew they weren't in their bedroom.
Yes. He'd want to watch them die. He probably stayed here until it was all over. He might even have been somewhere watching the emergency services arrive. He'd have enjoyed their helplessness at trying to stop something he'd started.
I have a connection between these and another killing. I don't want any more. I need you to help me to understand what it is I'm up against.
I'll try. But Jack, this type of killer doesn't show any remorse. It's only a matter of time before he kills again. I think you've got a psychopath on the loose.
If I killed them, why would I hang around? Why wouldn't I clear out their account? I wouldn't hurt them, I wouldn't.
When he's finished killing, there'll be a void in his life. There's a strong possibility he'll then kill himself.
Killer 6, Denton CID nil. That's what I call a relegation result. Wouldn't you, Frost?